And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Tuesday, August 9th. I'm your host for today's program, Paul DeMain. Many of the stories right here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com, and here are some of the news stories from the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. The New Mexico Department of Veteran Services has been invited to participate in a ceremony observing National Navajo Code Talkers Day on August 14th at the Window Rock Navajo Tribal Park and Veterans Memorial in Window Rock, Arizona. The ceremony begins at 10 a.m. with a flag raising and a parade of colors. NMDVS Farmington Veteran Service Officer Charlotte Smith, a Navajo U.S. Army veteran, will attend along with other featured guests to honor the celebrated World War II Code Talkers. Medal of Honor recipient Jay Vargas will deliver the keynote address. Then U.S. Marine Captain Vargas was presented with the nation's highest military honor for his bravery in leading an attack on a heavily fortified enemy position during the Vietnam War, while simultaneously ignoring his own horrific injuries to help rescue injured members of his own unit. A Native American NBC studio technician was tormented about his ethnicity by cruel colleagues who strung up an Indian doll on a noose and called it his long-lost daughter, he claims in a lawsuit. For Rock Peter Wells, who worked on the Today Show, Dr. Oz, and Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, endured the abuse after returning from a vacation and eventually quit his job when NBC's Human Resources Department told him to ignore the problem, according to the court papers filed. Wells said his story began on June 14, 2009, within an hour of returning from an Arizona vacation to his desk at the Peacock Network. Colleagues Rich Satelli told him to look over to the desk of a co-worker, Evelyn Cordero, and he saw a dark-skinned female doll adorned in traditional Native American clothing, says the lawsuit, which was filed in Manhattan Supreme Court. Satelli then showed him despicable cell phone images of the doll strung up on a Christmas lights with a post-it note that read, "Baby Wells," the documents allege. He was also asked if he had any illegitimate children. He explained the incident to HR, or Human Relations, which only made things worse. He claims 2 days later he found a block of fake cheese in the commons area, signifying that he was a rat, according to the lawsuit. A Florida tribe has been ordered by a federal judge to turn over its financial records to the Internal Revenue Service in a probe involving gambling profits. U.S. District Judge Alan S. Gold agrees that the IRS can obtain the Miccosukee tribal records from entities such as Morgan Stanley and Citibank. Gold rejected the tribe's contention that as a sovereign nation, the records were protected from scrutiny. Court documents show the IRS is examining whether the tribe failed to report income and withhold taxes on millions of dollars in gambling profits distributed each year to tribal members. The probe covers the years between 2006 and 2009. The Miccosukee say the IRS is overreaching its governmental authority. The tribe says it will continue to fight to protect its sovereignty. Moody's Investor Service has downgraded $200 million in securities borrowed by the Choctaw Resort Development Enterprise to junk bond status. That action came several days after the FBI raided the Mississippi Band of Choctaws Casino at the Pearl River Resort near Philadelphia, according to the Clarion Ledger. The FBI's investigation may, quote, indicate potential internal control weaknesses and could affect Choctaw's casino operations in the future, unquote, said the report from Moody's, which downgraded the bonds from B3 to CAA2, one of the lowest ratings possible. FBI agents took both hard drives and documents from the casino on July 12th. Beasley Denson, chief of the tribe, told the newspaper earlier that the FBI warrants named Atlanta-based Mercury Gaming Group and its marketing arm, the Titan Agency. Denson raised Mercury CEO Doug Pattison's pay in February from $60,000 a month to more than $200,000 a month. Denson told the Clarion Ledger the raise took place because Pattison was helping with the new Bakhoma Casino. The 6th Annual Aboriginal People's Choice Music Awards, or the APCMAs, takes place in Winnipeg on November 3rd and 4th, 2011, as part of the Manitowoc Festival. Aboriginal artists from across Canada and North America have sent in their submissions, which have been uploaded to the APCMA website, and now it's time to vote. Online voting takes place until August 18th. Anyone is welcome to vote and register for free. To vote, go to www.aboriginalpeopleschoice.com and select the sign-up page. Once you have successfully registered, you will then be able to choose one of your favorite artists. And we'll put that URL up for you. The nominees for the 2011 Aboriginal People's Choice Music Awards will be announced on August 25th, 2011. A woman who accused a federal police officer of sexually assaulting her on the Standing Rock Reservation of North Dakota has admitted to lying. Timothy Purdon, the U.S. Attorney for North Dakota, says 46-year-old Victoria Bobtail Bear of McLaughlin, South Dakota, has pled guilty to a charge of giving false statements. She faces up to 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine when she's sentenced on October 20th. Bobtail Bear was arrested for disorderly conduct last November 30th, put in a patrol vehicle and taken to the jail in Fort Yates. She later reported being sexually assaulted en route. Purdon says the accused Bureau of Indian Affairs officer had recorded the entire trip on his lapel camera, exonerating him. The University of New Mexico's Maxwell Museum has returned stolen archaeological artifacts to the Mexican government. Maxwell Museum curator David Phillips tells the Albuquerque Journal that the collection of artifacts includes arrowheads, knives, and paper-making tools. Predate the arrival of the Spanish in Mexico. The collection was anonymously donated to the museum earlier this year. Museum officials found that the artifacts were actually stolen from Mexico in violation of a 1970 international law restricting the removal of artifacts from their home nation. Phillips says the items represent pieces of Mexico's prehistoric past and that they belong to the people of that country. The Mexican consulate says artifacts were likely used for daily chores in tribal communities in what is now southern and central Mexico. The items will be taken to Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History in Mexico City, Mexico. Individual members of the Sioux tribes cannot persist with a lawsuit seeking a share of hundreds of millions of dollars awarded in old court cases for the improper seizure of the Black Hills and other land more than a century ago, a federal judge has ruled. In a ruling issued this month, U.S. District Judge Lawrence Purcell dismissed a lawsuit filed by 19 members of different Sioux tribes. He said the individual tribal members have no legal standing to seek the money because it was awarded to the 8 tribes, and prior court decisions have found that individual American Indians do not have a right to tribal property or a claim to a share of the money from the sale of tribal land. The Sioux have refused to accept money awarded for the Black Hills in a 1980 U.S. Supreme Court decision and instead have sought the return of land, Purcell noted. The lawsuit seeking payments for individual members could not continue without the participation of the tribes, he ruled. And that's going to be the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update, and we want to thank you for joining with us, and you come back again soon. Miigwech.